Whipping up all of your favorite recipes. Simply Food.
You should know by now that you're in for a treat.
Simply Food.
There's no other channel where you'd rather be.
Simply Food. Seafood, pasta, cakes, and pies. Sing and laugh and even cry. Like and share and hit subscribe. Simply Food by TY.
What's up, you guys? It's your boy Simply Food by TY, and today I'm going to teach you guys how to make some soft and chewy honey oatmeal cookies that, when I tell you, are out of this world, they are everything, okay? Now, this recipe is courtesy of Divas Can Cook, but you know me, I had to make some alterations to make it my own, child. So, in a stand mixer, what I've just added in was 1 cup of softened butter. Make sure that it's not melted, but you definitely want it to be softened. And I've also added in 1 cup of packed brown sugar and 1 cup of white sugar. We're going to go ahead and have that on about a medium speed and allow that to cream together until it gets nice and smooth. Next up, now that we've gotten it nice and smooth, we're going to go ahead and add in 2 large eggs that are at room temperature. And of course, you can't have an oatmeal raisin cookie without some really, really good vanilla. So I added in a teaspoon of, you know me, the Nelson Macy vanilla. And then we're going to allow this to cream together and get nice and homogeneous once again. Now that this is really starting to come together, this will be a great time for you to make sure that you're scraping down the sides of the bowl to make sure that there's no sugar sticking to the side or anything like that. And then go ahead and you can turn it back on and give it a few mix arounds again. And then we'll go ahead and move on to the next step, which is adding in our 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. You want to make sure that you have all of that mixed in with your flour. Go on ahead and just give it a nice little mix with the fork, just so that you can make sure that, of course, it's all mixed together. And then once again, as I always say, I'm going to show you this in real time, because the second it seems like that flour has become mixed together, I immediately turn it off because I do not want it to overmix. I'm telling you guys, it is so easy to make tough cookies. So now that I saw a majority of the flour was mixed in, I removed it from the mixer, and now I'm going to do the rest of it by hand until it's time to start adding in our other ingredients. Now, of course, we're making oatmeal raisin cookies, so of course that means we got to add in some delicious raisins. So I'm adding in roughly about 1.5 cups. Now, you can kind of gauge this on your own, however you would like to do it. You can always add more, you can add less. My personal opinion for, the amount of ingredients that were added, I would say don't add more than 1.5 cups though. And then of course, we're going to add in 3 cups of quick oats. And now we're going to go ahead and just fold this in. Now it's going to seem like this is extremely dry, but there's something I add to this that always sets my cookies apart from everybody else. So once you get those oats kind of incorporated in, I like to add my secret ingredient, which is buttermilk. Okay, so I start off with about 2 tablespoons, and then typically I'll mix it around, but for this particular recipe, I went right on ahead and I added in 4 full tablespoons of buttermilk. And now I'm going to fold these in. And the reason why I use buttermilk in my oatmeal raisin cookies is because it allows it to have that soft and chewy texture. And as the days go by, these cookies are never going to turn into rocks. They're just going to remain extremely soft and tender. But it's also important to make sure that you do not overwork these cookies. Once you get that buttermilk mixed in, and once you can see that all of the oats are mixed in, stop mixing it and then get ready to start having your pan out so that you can start putting these cookies on the baking dish. We're going to use a baking dish lined up with some parchment paper. At this point, you want to make sure you have your oven preheated at 350 degrees. Now, as you can see, I'm using roughly about a teaspoon amount or so. I always prefer my cookies to be on the smaller to medium size. I don't really like extremely large cookies. So I'm just going to continue to roll these bad boys out and then line them up on my baking tray. Now, these particular cookies do spread. So you want to make sure, you know, that you are leaving a little bit of space. So I'm going to do it in like the shape of a triangle. You'll see me adjust it probably a little bit later on when you see the cookies fully done. But as you can see, I kind of did a little triangle shape here, which is extremely important because once again, these cookies will spread out. These are not cookies that kind of just stay in that shape. So I'm going to continue to do this. You guys enjoy the music and I'll see you guys in a moment. Okay, you guys, now that we're putting on the last amount of cookies, you guys can have a clear picture of how I had them spread out. I put these in the oven at 350 degrees for 7 to 8 minutes, no more than 8 minutes. As you can see, it's going to look like your cookies are undercooked, and that is the key. If you ever fully cook an oatmeal raisin cookie in the oven, when that thing cools down, it's going to be hard as a brick. So the key is to undercook them, allow them to sit on the tray for an additional 5 minutes. They will continue to cook, allow them to cool, and then you can transfer them onto a rack or into a wooden cutting board. Allow them to sit there for an additional 10 minutes, okay? So I'm gonna run that down one more time. Put it in the oven, 350 degrees. You're gonna bake it for no more than 8 minutes. Once you take it out of the oven, sit it on top of your cooking board undisturbed. The heat from the pan will continue to cook them. Allow them to stay on that pan for 10 minutes. At that point, you will transfer them to a rack or onto a cutting board, allow them to cool, and you guys will have some of the best oatmeal raisin cookies you've ever had. At this point, you could also drizzle some honey on them, which I do sometimes I don't, but I'm trying to tell you, these cookies will change your life. Look, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're one of my returning subscribers, y'all babies know I love y'all so much, and honey, just enjoy this view. My God. Where's the honey?
Slaying in the kitchen.
Simply Food by TY.
We hope that you enjoyed it.
Simply Food by TY. If you haven't took the time, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching Simply Food.